Hey folks, in the last video we replaced the hood insulation on the Jetta because a rodent chewed it up. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only thing the rodent chewed up. Yeah, he made a mess of the glow plug wiring harness. So today, we're going to replace that. The glow plug harness snakes through the engine compartment on its way to the firewall. It runs down below this coolant hose, across the top of the starter, and under the battery tray. Then it makes a turn and goes under the air cleaner box and up into this wiring conduit thingy. To get at the glow plug harness, we need to remove the battery and the battery tray. And we need to remove the air cleaner box. Since I have a catch can attached to the battery tray, the catch can will need to be moved as well. Okay, the battery tray has 4 bolts that attach it to the frame. They're all 10mm. Mine only has 3 because the last time I removed the battery tray, that one stripped out. But 3 should be fine, right? Also, to detach this wiring from the battery box, you have to remove this plastic piece back here, right here. Basically, you just pull up on it, like that. Also, there's this one 10mm bolt down here that you need to remove because for some reason, Volkswagen decided to attach the air cleaner to the battery tray right there. Anyway. Alright, the air cleaner box has one more 10mm bolt that needs to come out. Also, I'm going to disconnect the mass airflow sensor, and I'm going to disconnect the air intake pipe right here, and then the air filter box will come out. Okay, next we need to remove this plastic cover off the wire conduit. It has these clips on it that looks like I can undo with a screwdriver, but first I think I need to remove this weather strip. Yep, the weather strip covers that. Alright, so I think I can undo these like that. Yep. There we go. Cool. Okay, here's a better look at how the glow plug wiring harness runs through the engine bay. First of all, this is the end of the harness. This is the part that runs over to the engine. It's incorporated into this wiring harness that runs down here. Then it runs into this wiring harness, which goes across the top of the starter and into this harness where this split loom is here, and then it goes up by the cylinder head, and this is the part that goes to the glow plugs. So all this wire loom and insulation from basically here all the way over to there all needs to be removed. Now, I saw a YouTube video where a guy did this, and he made it look like the wiring harness for the glow plugs was just sitting out in the open, ready to be plucked out of the engine bay. Not. Anyway. Theoretically, you could just detach the old wiring harness and leave it there. Then you can run the new harness alongside it, and you wouldn't need to strip off all that wiring insulation. I decided to do it the hard way, but you can do whatever works better for you. Okay, we're getting there. I've got the wiring stripped back all the way to where this wire loom starts, right here. I think in order to make this easier to get at, I'm going to remove this little vacuum ball. It only has one mounting screw right there. Alright, we got it almost done. This right here is the glow plug harness. So we just need to remove the electrical tape from here on down. And last but not least, we have this little plastic thingy that clips all these things together, so we're going to remove that too. Okay, now the glow plug harness should be ready to come out. But before we do that, I'm just going to give you an overview of how the glow plug harness goes through the engine compartment. This is it here. You see it going down to the starter. Hopefully you can see that. And it goes over to there. Then up to the firewall. Alright, our new harness is ready to install. I think I'll install this end first onto the engine, and then I'll work my way back over to there. By the way, I also put a dab of dielectric grease into each boot to seal out the moisture. Installing the new glow plug harness wasn't as easy as removing the old one, probably because the new one is actually intact. I had to be careful not to damage it while I finagled it in between the fuel injector lines and the cylinder head. Okay, so instead of rewrapping all this in electrical tape, I'm going to use wire loom. I've got plenty of it. I took this opportunity to vacuum out all the leaf debris that had collected in this area. There are lots of nooks and crannies for debris to collect in, and this area is not accessible when the air cleaner box and the battery tray are installed. Okay, folks, it's all over but the shouting. Or actually, the shouting is done, if you know what I mean. But here is our new glow plug wiring harness installed. And we've got conduit going all the way across and up to the connection. And that's where our new harness connects to the chassis wiring, I guess. Ironically, I still ended up using half a roll of electrical tape. Speaking of which, I used the Scotch Super 33. It's a lot better than that cheap stuff you get at Harbor Freight. Anyway, I'm going to put the car back together. I'll do that off camera so you guys don't have to watch another time lapse. We'll just cut to the finished product. Alright, we can stick a fork in this one because it's done. And that's a good thing because it's getting late and I'm getting pretty hungry. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I'd like to give a shout out to that rodent who took up residence in my engine compartment. You number one!